What's up, guys? Welcome to VHB Engines. So today's video discussion here about rods or D16 modification here, and that being the question is putting B18 rods worthwhile into a D16? And the answer is pretty simple. It's a big fat fucking no. As I preach all the time, everything's about doing everything on a good budget, you know, things that make sense. And the whole thing is we'll talk about this. Do you guys remember what I said the safe limits are for a B series block in general? I'll wait a minute. I'll wait a little bit. That's right. 350 horsepower. You got good fucking memory, guys. I appreciate that, y'all paying attention, remembering things like that. So anyway, this is a B18 rod. Unlike the D16 rod I have sitting over here, I don't have anything that's free of a piston right now. So I'm about to show you like this, or show you here. Now, this is a D16 rod, guys. For you guys that haven't really paid attention or seen one up close, this is a D16 rod, right? Remember when I said that D16, 200 horsepower because the rods are as thick as your pinky? Literally. Look at that shit, guys. Literally the size of your fucking pinky, all right? I don't have huge man hands. I got medium-sized hands. The rod thickness is your fucking pinky. You know? So for these guys on here who like to get smart and talk about 300 horsepower, my D16, you know, when it naturally comes making like 100 horsepower to the wheels, depending on which one you have. But this is a fucking little ass rod. I could probably flex my dick around this thing and snap it in half. Let's just try it. No, let's not try it. I don't want to break the rod. Break the rod with my rod. Anyway, so you look at the D16, like, holy fuck, you guys, you know, or fucking Chris, you're right. That's a tiny ass fucking rod. Why would I try to push power there? I'm like, yeah, I know. It's insane. And then you look at this big old beefy B18 rod and you're like, damn, that shit looks fucking enormous. That shit should sure handle some power. And yeah, again, like I said, 350 horsepower indefinitely, I think. As long as you don't miss shift or do anything stupid, this rod won't give out on you. All right. But even then, I'll show you that in comparison as to like a B16 rod. In comparison to a B16 rod here, which is even beefier. It may be a little bit more hard to tell with that because the D16 and the B series rod is just that much more different. But it definitely is. Like you can when you're seeing it up close, you definitely see that the Doc VTech rods tend to be a lot bigger than the B18. Now with that being said, the reason why I say no, this is not a good idea to put on here is because you have to pretty heavily modify this rod to be usable. You can see here that, you know, you got some thickness issues going on. The clearances and the size of the journal are about the same when it comes to the rods. That's why you can fit this on the crank, on the D16 crank. But the big end journal is too fat to put on the D series crank, so you have to shave it down. You have to shave down the journal, and it's, you know, of course, very precise measurements here. You can't just, or I wouldn't recommend you just taking like a grinder. It's like, that works. No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it, and I jerry rig shit all the time. So you have to go to a machine shop. And you have to have this shit filed down to fit the crank. And on top of that too, you gotta modify the small end bushings too, as well. You have to drive out the fucking, or bore out the fucking pinhole, and then like put new bushings and shit in there. Anyway, I can't remember the step-by-step details. I just know that you have to modify both of the rods with very precise machining here. And if you have like a machine shop set up, or you got a homie that'll do it for you for like nothing or free, then that's cool. But I couldn't see finding a set of B18 rods, then taking your B18 rods to a machine shop to modify to just make just to try and make 300 horsepower. And some of these guys are putting on stock pistons and shit, you know. So I really just don't see why you'd want to spend all that money when you can buy a set of cheap H-beams for a couple $100. And then I guess it would be like, well, I'm scared of block notching and all that bullshit. Well, if you have the right tools, it's not really that difficult. It is time consuming, but I would say it's worthwhile to get the H-beams and notch the block, because then you're capable of 400 plus, where this rod's not going to take you 400 plus. It's just not. It'll be a ticking time bomb if you try it. Now, to bring to light here a little bit about this, now let's see the difference between this and an H-beam. That's an H-beam right there. All right. Now this is not a single cam H-beam. It's a fucking B series. It's a B18 H-beam, right? So look at the H-beam compared to the fucking B18 rod. Not to mention the fact that it's lighter, all right? It's worthwhile, guys. Don't put the B18 rods. Don't attempt to put the B18 rods. There's not a whole bunch of Honda machine shops out there anyway. That, so, and I keep hearing horror stories from some of you guys from different machine shops doing all kinds of craziness, or not wanting to do things the way you're asking them to be done. So just don't fuck with it. Just get something that's natural. Get a fucking H-beam, notch your block. If you don't want to do that, get a B-series engine. All right? And just for you guys that are curious, thinking, damn, this motherfucker has some fucking some forged rods here, and he's been saying he needs rods to build one. I do have a rod. Actually, I have 2 rods. So I have an incomplete set. If I had two more H-beams, I could build me a B18, forged B18. Right now, see, the reason why I haven't tried to complete the set is because I can't find used parts. Now, what I would normally do in a situation where I have these 2 parts is I would keep my eyes on Facebook looking for somebody selling a set that's like damaged. Like you see, I don't know if you can tell here. Let me try to focus here a little bit. Focus. Okay, you see that? That rod's chewed the fuck up. Normally what I would try to do is find somebody selling a set of forged rods, but one of them or 2 of them are damaged, so that way I could piece it together, I could buy them real cheap. But the thing is these particular Skunk 2 rods, they're like $300 brand new for a full set. So it doesn't make sense for me to try and go out and buy 2 rods for like $200 when I could buy a complete set. Now, with that being said, if any of you motherfuckers out there happen to have an incomplete set or whatnot, and you want to donate, or you don't want to donate, and maybe you want to sell them to me cheap, hit me up and let me know. And honestly, guys, that'll be a standing practice for parts in general. I've had a couple of you guys offer me stuff, and I had one guy offer me a block, or he's willing to take next to nothing for it, which is $25 because it might be too damaged to use. But the problem is with there is it comes with the shipping and all that shit. Now I don't have the money to ship right yet. It's probably going to cost me like $80 total to get it off of him. But I do like to, if you guys have parts like this, incomplete sets, like if you have a set of forged pistons that maybe one of them are damaged or whatnot, hit me up. And if you're willing to sit on it for a while, I'm definitely willing to buy it. It's going to take some time. You see, I have a couple of incomplete sets here. Let me see if I can find which one. You see, that one's got a little damage. I can't focus. I'm holding the fucking camera. Anyway, I specialize in shit like this. Stuff that people think is can't be used, and I like to use it. Let's see if I can focus here. You see, it's kind of like fucked up a little bit. Yeah. So if you guys got some fucked up shit that you want to make a little money off of, hit me up. Send me some pictures of what you got. We'll talk about it. I guess get some FaceTime with you guys real quick for closing statements or whatnot. Yeah. All right, so yeah, the schedule here on the channel is not very solid anymore. I can't claim to do solid release dates anymore. Like I said before, I haven't run out of ideas yet, guys. I still have plenty of stuff to talk about. It's just, I'm trying to space it out a little bit so I don't dry up anymore. And of course, coming out here, I could have made this video like a little 2 or 3 minute video. Just be like, don't do it because you got to modify with the machine shop, too much money and all that shit. But I really wanted to come out here and show you, like physically show you guys the rods and shit. I think that carries a little bit more weight. For you guys that are watching Facebook, when I mentioned making this video, I said I was going to maybe do 2. That was because I was thinking about making the video talking about the machining of rods, and then I was going to come out and show you the rods. But I think that it was important enough to see it, that it should be together in the same fucking thing. and something instead of something separate. But this just goes to drive home again, like the holdbacks that you have from building a D16 a stock D16. And so I guess now this is maybe some of you guys noticed I did make an official D16 fucking playlist. This is gonna go to that. You guys surprised me with being able to keep finding questions on this engine that has already so many limitations that I thought I've talked about. And actually, when somebody mentioned it in the comments on another video I uploaded about a B18 Rods, I was like, are you crazy? I already talked about that. That's fucking stupid. And then I remembered that I told one of my early subscribers that back in the day when I had like 6. I got a guy that kept hitting me up about D16. He kept wanting to do B18 Rods as a single cam. I was like, nah, that's really dumb when it comes to how much power you can make if you just make a little bit of effort to go with the H-beam. Guys, I know that everybody's always looking for the easiest route. And trust me, I'm definitely one of these people too. But I will always look for the easiest route that is also the most practical. And sometimes shortcuts really don't help you out. So this is, take your engine building as a long term. If you guys are not like me, who does engines all the time or whatnot, then especially you should take your time. For me, it seems like I want to be able to take a shortcut because I got to get to the next engine, the next engine, the next engine. Especially when I was in Florida, it was always another one, always another one. I had another one ready as soon as I was finishing while I was getting to another. But if this is your personal project, you're just building this motor for you, don't rush it. Take your time and build it right. Hey guys, that's good. I'm gonna wrap it up. If you're new to VHP engines, click on VHP engines below. Scroll through my playlist. I have quite a bit of videos now, but they're all pretty well organized in there. All the shit that you really want to see is probably gonna be in the first couple playlists. Just please, if you got a question, don't rush to the comments. I mean, by all means, if you got suggestions and stuff, the things you want to see, or you just want to, say something about this video, then by all means, comment. But if you got a question that's pertaining to something else entirely, do me the favor, please, of going through the playlist and checking it out and see if I've already talked about it first before hitting me up. Because I've mentioned this a bunch of times, saying I was going to start ignoring people, and that has gone into effect. The inbox now has messages that are not getting read because I've already talked to that person once or twice before, and it's just back to the same old shit. So I don't want to ignore anybody, but I do want to filter out some of the shit that's being asked. So please take the time going through the playlist and checking things out before you inbox me. But with that being said, I do have all my social media in the description below. Facebook is I do my daily updates or weekly updates, what's going on with the channel. Instagram, when I'm out here doing stuff in the shop for just project fucking pictures. Twitter and Snapchat, I do little tiny video updates on. I don't really follow anybody back on social media, but if you follow me on Snapchat, I will add you back. And if I see car shit in your stories timeline or whatnot, then I will be nosy and peek around. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and peace.